Okay, here are the notes for worksheet number 2 on what? Properties of parallelograms. Okay, so real briefly, what did we learn? This is worksheet 2, right? So what did we pretty much take from worksheet 1? Well, we learned what a parallelogram is, right? So you're gonna have a four-sided figure with where two of the sides are parallel. Well, you got one pair of parallel sides and then another pair of parallel sides like this, right? That's a parallelogram. And then what else did we learn from worksheet 1? Well, we learned that if this is, let's say, 100 degrees, this angle here, the one that's opposite of it is also 100 degrees. Right, if I start with one of them, I mean, honestly, you just should start with one of them and you should be able to get all the rest. Right, if this is 100, then I know the other one right opposite is also 100. So the opposite angles, or these opposite diagonal angles, are congruent. And then what do we know about, right, these are congruent. And then what do we know about these? These are not going to be 100, but we know that if I got this one, we know that these that are on the same side, they are complementary, which means they add up to 180. So if this is 100, this one has to be 80, right? So these are complementary. These are congruent, and these are complementary. These add up to what? 180. And then once I got this, then remember, opposite angles are congruent. So I got opposite angles congruent, same side angles what? Did I say complementary? I meant supplementary, right? Supplementary is straight angle, they add up to 180. Okay. And then these will be the same, right? Whatever this one is, this one is. Okay, so we're gonna take that same information and now use it here for what you're gonna see here in this assignment. So let's say, for example, draw this kind of similar looking one like this. Oops, that doesn't look. Okay, so this is a parallelogram. And we know that angle 1 and angle 2, well, angle 1 would be congruent to angle 2, right? Opposite angles are congruent. So let me go 1, 2, and then let me go 3, 4. I know for a fact that angle 1 would be congruent to angle 2. I mean, I don't know what this measure is, but whatever it is, these opposite angles are congruent. And what do I have on my, oh, it's from the highlighter. I know angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. These opposite angles are congruent. And which other angles are congruent? Well, angle 3 is also congruent to angle 4. And because they're congruent, we can put them equal to each other, right? We can put angle 1, right? Angle 1 is equal to, like 100 is equal, these are equal to each other. We can put them equal to each other. We would put angle 1 equal to angle 2 because they are equal. And likewise, we would put what? Angle 3 equal to, and there goes this pin, angle 4. This pin's no good. Okay, so opposite angles we know are congruent, they're the same side, so we can put them equal to each other. But you're not going to do that to these, right? The opposite angles are congruent, but you're not going to do to the ones that are same side. Now here's the thing. You only have 2 pair of opposite angles, but since you have 4 lines, you can either put these 2 equal to 180, sorry, not equal to 180, but they add up to 180, or you can put these 2 adding up to 180, or you can put these 2 add up to 180, or they can put these 2 add up to 180. So here's where you kind of like four equations come up, but it's the same thing. Here I can put angle 1 plus angle 4 is equal to 180. Remember, if they're on the same side, if I got an angle here and an angle here, they're not opposite diagonal. If they're on the same side, then this is the equation that comes about. Remember over here, If this one's 100, these two have to add up to 180. That's what I'm doing here. But that's just this side. Isn't that going to be true for the other sides? How about this side right here? What am I going to say if I have this and this part? What if I have these two parts? What are you going to be able to claim? Well, for these two, you'd be able to claim that what? Angle 2 plus angle 4. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, but they add up to what? 180. So I got these two. If I go with these two, they add up to 180. If I got these two, they add up to 180. What about same thing here, right? Angle 2 plus angle 3. Will equal to or add up to 180. And finally this one, right? So I got, for each of these that are the same side, you can write an equation and say this plus this equal to 180, or this plus this equal to 180, or this plus this equal to 180. Or finally what? These two right here. Angle 1 plus angle 3 equal to 180. So since there's four sides, there's either this scenario or this scenario or this scenario or this scenario. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where they add up to 180. But the ones that are opposite of each other, you only got two scenarios. I only got these two. I'll put these equal to each other, or these two equal to each other. Remember these ones I talked about first. So those are the only two conditions you're going to see. You're either going to have them opposite to each other, and if they are, you set them equal to each other. If they are opposite angles, either these two or these two, you set them equal to each other. And if they're on the same side, you're gonna also write another equation, right? Equal to each other, you mean this angle equal to this angle. That's an equation when you have an equal sign. They're equal to each other. But if you have them on the same side, again, there's four different ways to look at it. Again, you have another equation. You set it up and you equal to 180. They add up and they equal to 180. So that's what you're going to see today. All right, let's jump into the first problem. So let's see. Number 1 says something like this. And it's going to say solve for x. Okay, number 1, you'll have a parallelogram like this. Just draw it the best you can. Make this line look like this line. Make this line look like this line. Looks like they're parallel, right? It'll be nice if I show it here. All right, well, you guys can pause it. You guys can draw it and then turn it back on, yeah? Kind of like a parallelogram. Okay. So I got a parallelogram. They're going to say, it'll say here, each figure is a parallelogram. They'll put letters like C, D, B, A. Okay, those are the angles. But right now, I don't have to worry about it. Right now, they're going to ask you to solve for x. And for this one, they're going to put 13x plus 3 here for C. And 55 degrees. Something like this. And they want you to solve for x. So what scenario do we have here? Are these the ones that are equal to each other, where they're opposite angles? Or are these the ones that are same side and I have to put them, or I have to put them equal to, I have to add them up and they have to be equal to 180? Well, these are opposite. They're opposite of each other. So these should be the same, right? Angle C is equal to what? Angle A. So on this one, you're going to put angle C is equal. They have to be, this one's 55, this one has to be equal to 55. So angle C is equal to angle A. Or you could put angle A equals to angle C. It's the same thing. And then now we set up the math and we set up the equation. That'll be what? What is angle C? Well, angle C is this expression, 13x plus 3. And that should be equal to, right? It should equal what? The 55, angle A. 55. Yeah, see, you wouldn't put these, add them up. These would not be adding equal to 180, right? If the 55 was here, then they would be same side and you'd do that. But see, no, they're opposite. Opposite angles, they're supposed to be equal to each other. Remember over here? So you put the expressions equal to each other, and then you solve for x, or whatever the variable is. That'll be 13x, right? This will be minus 3, so that'll be minus 3 minus 3 is 13x is equal to 52. And when you divide by 13, you divide by 13. 52 divided by 13, I believe, is 4. Okay, now here they're just asking you to solve for x. All right, but if they were to ask you for the measure of angle C, well, they actually wouldn't ask you here, because if this one's 55, well, then this one would have to be 55 too. As a matter of fact, I bet you if you do 13 times 4, 13 times 4 is 42. 13, I'm just checking it, times 4, right? I'm claiming the value of x is 4. 13 times 4 plus 3, I bet you it's going to give me 55. Actually, 13 times 4 is 52. 52 plus 3, yeah, see, it does give me the same angle measure. I'm just checking it. You don't have to, but I'm just showing you this value of x is correct. X is 4. All right, that's it. So when they're opposite, you put them equal to each other. When they're same side, you put them add them up, equal to 180. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2 is one that looks like this. Going this way now. And now this one says 85 up here, and this one's 7x plus 15. Well, again, what do we know about these? They're opposite. This should be equal to this, or this angle should equal to the 85, right? These are opposite angles, so, oh, by the way, they did give us letters, S, V, T, U. So what am I going to say? Well, angle V and angle T should be equal to each other. Angle V is equal, right, because they're congruent. Angle V is equal to angle T. They should be equal to each other. There's my equation. Now I just write the information here. Angle V is what? 85 is equal to angle T, 7x plus 15. Or you could have wrote the angle T equal to angle V. Same thing. All right, solve for x. Well, minus 15, minus 15. That's going to be 7x equals what? Oh, 70. Oh, this is an easy one. X equals what? 70 divided by 7, right? Divide by 7, divide by 7. You're going to get x equals 10. Okay, number 3. So if they're just asking you to solve for x, solve for x. And I know this is 85, so I would also know that angle T would also have to be 85. Well, sure enough, look. 7 times 10 is 70. 70 plus 15 is 85, so it's correct. Number 3. Okay, now what if you got something going this way like this, a parallelogram, and you have 9x minus 4 for this angle here. This is W, X, Y, Z. And now I do have this one here, and this one's 22x minus 2. See, these are not opposite diagonals. This angle's here, this angle's here. They're on this same side. Right, these are the ones that you have to add up these two parts, make them equal to 180, right? We talked about it over here. Like this. If they're on the same side, these two add up to 180. Or if these two, you get those two expressions, those two parts, and they should add up to 180. So that's going to be the equation that you're going to set up. So it'll be angle W plus angle X equals to 180, right? This one plus this one, right? Because that's this side up here, or it's this angle with this angle here. And that's the math. So that'll be what? 9x minus 4 plus, right, that's the w, plus the x is 22x minus 2 equals 180. We can get rid of the parentheses, right? That was just showing you that this one's w, that's just showing you that this one's x. But honestly, we add the x's with the x's, the variables with the variables, the numbers with the numbers. 9x plus 22x will go together, and then the numbers minus 4 minus 2 equals 180, right? I'm doing an extra step here. Just combining like terms, right? I'm putting the x's next to each other. 9x plus 22 is 31x. 31x, and this will be minus 6 equals 180. And that'll be plus 6, so that'll be 31x is equal to 186. And then divide by 31, 186 divided by 31, it is 6. Now we're getting some good answers here. X equals 6. Now, right now, see the difference between this problem? Back over here, we knew this one was 85, so I know this one was 85. They just ask you for the, I knew what the angles are going to be. Here, I don't have any of the angles, see? But it doesn't matter. I just know that these two, whatever they are, they're same side, so you have to add them up equal to 180. The value of x is 6. If they ask me to find angle W or to find angle X, which they will later, right, you just substitute X in there. If you want to find angle W, substitute angles, the value of X here. But we first have to get this part first. One more problem for this first part, number 4. One last problem, very, very similar, right, to everything we're doing, parallelograms. Okay, this is going to be A, B, C, D. Okay, and this one's going to be 24x plus 8. This angle C is that, 24x plus 8. And this one over here is 52 degrees. Okay. Are these opposite angles where they're equal to each other? No, they're on the same side. These two angles are making this side right here. They're like on this same side right here. That's what I mean by same side. If they're same side, then what angles are we talking about here? Angle C plus angle D. Those have to be what? Adding up to 180 degrees. They're supplementary, right? Let's go back to these. Remember this? This was 100 and this was 100. And these add up to 180 this way, or these add up to 180 this way, or these add up to 180 this way, or these add up to 180 this way. Because they're same side. So that's what we're doing. These are same sides, so these two parts should be adding up to 180. C is what? 24x plus 8 plus, I'll put the parentheses very lightly, plus D, which is just 52, equals 180. Right, they're same side. All right, and then the rest is algebra 1, solving this part. So that's 24x is the only part with the x. 8 plus 52 is 60, equals 180. Minus 60 minus 60, that's going to give you 24x equals 120. That's going to give you a 5. Oops, 24x equals 120. Divide by 24, divide by 24. Right, we're solving for x. Sorry, I jumped the gun. X is equal to, 120 divided by 24 is 5. So here they're just asking you to solve for x, and that's all you have to do. On the next one, it's going to be similar. The only difference is they're going to ask you to find one of these two angles. Well, that's easy, but you still got to do this part first. Okay, let me stop here and make sure you look at the next video for 2 quick problems. Thank you.